Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Oxyinfernape, and this is my battle for Week 9 of Season 2 of the CPC D-League. This week I'm going up against John, coach of the Indiana Keldeos. So, just to give you some context with these standings going into this game, so I am currently 6-2, and John is also 6-2, and there are 10 games in the season, so we only have 2 more. Well, this game and then 1 more after that, and then the playoffs. And the top 4 in each conference make the playoffs, top 4 out of 8. And so right now, pretty much the playoff race is Sam Crow at 7-1, John at 6-2, me at 6-2. I think I have higher differential than John going into this game. And then a bunch of like 3-4, and I think one 4-4 team coming into this week. So a lot of teams, like I think a lot of like 4 and 5 lost teams that are back there, and then one of them will make it. So I have not technically clinched a spot yet in the playoffs. If I win this week, then I will. But I'm very, very likely to make the playoffs. Like, I need to lose both my last 2 games by a lot, and then 2 of those 3-4 teams, or 4-4 teams, need to win by a lot and catch up a lot of differential, and I need to fall down a lot of differential. So most likely I'll be in the playoffs. It's very unlikely that I won't be. So that's good. Now I'm still taking the last 2 games seriously. Or at least I plan on taking this one seriously, and then probably the next one seriously, depending on the circumstances. But I want to get that top seed in the conference, because if I get the 2 or 3, I would end up either playing John or Zamcrow, who are both very good. And if I get the 1 seed, I'll play someone else who, I guess, is just not as good. I don't really mean to say it like that, but at least hasn't done as well this season. Granted, they'll still be able to get enough wins to make the playoffs, so definitely still someone that's pretty good. But I'd rather play someone that, except for one of those teams in the, except for one of those teams below me in the conference, I've beaten all of them, so I'd rather play one of those. And I feel like I'll just be able to reconstruct my team better and be able to build a second team to win, like more likely than being able to do that versus both John and Zamcrow in the playoffs. I only want to have to do that versus one of them, so you know it really helps if I get the 1 seed. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to pretty much I have to win this game and next game versus Zamcrow. Now, actually, a little spoiler, Zamcrow. I knew this before I did my battle versus John. I found out like right before I battled John. Zamcrow won his week 9, so he was 8-1 going into our match, which I have not done yet. That'll go up next Tuesday. So I need to win both of my games to get the 1 seed, and that is a tough task. Both of them are good players, but I feel like I can do it. You know. So I'm not going to do a team builder because I could play John again in playoffs, and I do not want to show too much of my team. So I'm going to briefly go over it, but I'm not going to go super in-depth and really explain too much, just because, again, I could play him in playoffs. So my team, I'm bringing a Choice Scarf Medicham, a 3 attacks and Sucker Punch Mega Hound him. I mean, really 4 attacks, but 3 special attacks and Sucker Punch. A 3 attacks, Stealth Rocks, Yachiberry Lando T, I think Magoberry, Tapu Fini. It's one of those that you get 1/2 health back after going down to 1/4 health. It has, like, I think Taunt, Moonblast, Nature's Madness, and Ice Beam. Originally I was a knockoff in that last slot, but then we started the battle and I clicked knockoff, and I was told that it was illegal because it is a move shooter move in the new games. So I cannot run that because we're still doing like Sun and Moon, not Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon for this league, so that's fair. I didn't know that. I didn't know that knockoff. Sorry, that knockoff was new. I just saw it and I was like, oh, this could be helpful for the matchup, but I can't use it. So Revice Beam instead. Dragalge is Assault Vest for attacks. Scizor is defensive. Just max defense, max HP with Roost, U-Turn, Bullet Punch, and Toxic. John's team is these 6 you see here: Paliswan, Zapdos, Staraptor, Snorlax, Mega Blastoise, and Garchomp, plus Metagross, Roserade, Avalugg, Primeape, and Regirock. So let's just start the battle here. I led with my Tapu Fini here. I kind of thought he might lead with Zapdos, so I wanted to lead with Dragalge to sort of counter that, but I didn't want him leading with Garchomp or even Staraptor or even Piloswine. I don't know. Even if he led Zapdos and I led Fini, this wasn't terrible. This is better than like if I lead if I lead with my Dragalge and he leads with Piloswine or Garchomp or anything, because I didn't definitely forced out. And originally, actually, the first turn he switched out into Piloswine, so I clicked knockoff. But then we realized that that was illegal, so we had to start over, and I changed the knockoff to Ice Beam. And so here we are actually free to just do whatever. We don't have to follow that, like, he switched. So I thought he would click Thunderbolt because of that, or Discharge, whichever he has. He actually just clicks U-turn just to go into this, which makes sense. It's fine. So he brings in Garchomp, which is scary, but I'm just going to go right into Lando, predicting the Earthquake with these Stealth Rocks. He goes for a Sub, which is a little scary. I kind of thought he might have Sub, so that makes sense for his team. Could definitely be a Z Crystal set, because that's one of his Z users, as well as, I think Primate was the other one, but he didn't bring that, so it does not matter. So here, I'm just going to go for a U-turn, which should be able to break his Sub. He'll outspeed me, but I can take any one hit. I think even an HP Ice I should be able to live. Oh, well, yeah, especially because I do Fiachi. So I just go for the U-turn and break his Sub. I got a crit, it didn't matter. Unless it was super bulky, but it didn't seem like it was. So, crit didn't matter. So bring in Feeny here. I wanted to bring in Mega Houndoom, but it would be a tough 50-50. I didn't want to go for him Power Ice as he goes into Blastoise, and I didn't want to Dark Pulse in case we did stay in, so I just didn't want to get myself in that 50-50. So let's go right into Feeny, make a safer play. As I think I just go right for Madness here, it's a pretty safe play. No, Ice Beam, because it still does a lot, and I can scout the Zapdos and see it spread. Looks like it's not too bulky, actually. I thought it might be Scarfed, actually, based on what it did earlier, and based on looking like the lack of bulk here, could just be like max special attack, max speed, or something like that. So just go for another Ice Beam, thinking he might be Scarfed. You might want to click a U-turn, or might want to maybe click Hit Power Ice, predicting Dragalge or Orlando. Even if he clicks T-Ball, I can live one. So I just go for Ice Beam again, so he did Roost, so showing he's not Scarfed. Or I guess he could be Scarfed with Roost, but I don't think so. So I think he switches moves here. Yeah, he goes for the U-turn. So he's not Scarfed, definitely not. We don't see lefties either, so I'm not sure what the item is. So let's go for Madness there, as it does a lot to lock. So apparently he was like a Figgy Berry or Pop or something, and he said he didn't know why it popped. He probably just wasn't letting me on accident, so that's probably why. I just go for Taunt here, but that doesn't really matter. So I go for Taunt, and he actually goes for the Self-Destruct, so my Taunt does not matter. I do live, thankfully, right under 25, so the berry will pop and back at almost full, so that's nice. So Snorlax is gone. I don't think it really mattered that his berry didn't pop, so I think he would have gone for Boom either way. But yeah, so he brings in Zapdos. So here, I think I switched, because I think T-Bolt might kill. Yeah, I do switch into Dragalge, as he does go for Discharge. Unfortunately, he gets the Para, but I mean, that's why he's running Discharge. That's how it goes sometimes, you know. 30% chance over the 10% from T-Bolt, and it's not doing much less. So it goes for U-turn, as it does a little bit, but you know, chip damage is chip damage. As I just plop a Draco, because he does not have a good switch in. He did not bring his Fairy, or did he have a Fairy at all? He didn't bring his Metagross, which would have been a nice answer. I don't think he had a Fairy. No, he had Roserade, Metagross, Regirock, Primate, and Ablock. So actually, no Fairy. Right. So I just go for a Draco, and it just does a lot to his Piloswine, and that thing is really very low. Now I'm not going to stay in here. I'm thinking he's going to set up rocks. I mean, yeah, I could kill him with another Draco if I really wanted to, but I don't want to risk him here. He could have potentially rocked some Garchomp, probably not, because he had Sub, but I'm just going to play it safe and go right into my Scizor, which I could be bluffing Defog here, or he might think that I have Defog based on the way I brought him in. I don't, but I might think that I do. So just go for Toxic, and he just goes right into Zapdos, which is perfect. I wanted to Toxic that, and that'll help me whittle it down and deal with it. I think he just goes for U-turn here. Nice play on his end. I wanted to scout for Heat Wave. I thought he'd have Hidden Power Ice, because we've seen U-turn, Discharge, Roost, and the last move either Hidden Power Ice or Heat Wave most likely. Maybe Defog, but probably Coverage. I expected Hidden Power Ice, but I did not want to get plopped by Heat Wave in case he had it. So I just figured I can scout, go into this, another. Take any hit he'd go for. Really, even that's really the worst move, which is what he did. He's going to be able to pivot off the U-turn. That's really the worst case scenario, but still, I don't take too much damage. I just go right into Feeny as he goes in Piloswine, just clicks Earthquake, does a decent chunk, but I'm going to be able to just knock him out with a Moonblast. He's not going to go into anything else, because nothing else wants to take a Moonblast super well. In comes Staraptor. I don't have a Great Switch into this. With the Rocks Up, my Scizor will get 2 KO'd. Or I think even without Rocks Up, it's a roll. So I'm just going to stay in. I won't be able to tell if he's Scarfed or Banded based on the damage, because Jolly's Scarf kills me anyways, so he could potentially be Banded, but I just stay in, sack off Feeny as I do drop to the Great Bird. So in comes my Scizor. So here, I think I make a nice play, click a U-turn, predicting the switch as he does right into Zapdos, and I do click the U-turn. Nice. So we get off a decent chunk on Zapdos, but we're also able to pivot by bringing Dragalge here. So here, I make it, I think in hindsight, a bit of a misplay, but it didn't really matter too much. So I clicked Sludge Wave, thinking either he'll stay in, but I thought he'd switch into Blastoise, just because I feel like that'd be as safe as switching. And I don't think he'd go into Garchomp just because a Draco Meteor would still do a lot, and I think still kill him, even though the terrain. I mean, yeah, it has to still kill him. He's at 75%, so he's not even at full. And he's probably Z Crystal, so not the Haban Berry, I don't think. So I didn't think he'd go into Garchomp, so I actually clicked Sludge Wave. In hindsight, I should actually just click Draco because Zapdos is in the air, so the Draco will still be the same power as it would be if the trainer was not up. But he's going to go for Roost and stay in. That's actually get paralyzed, so it does not matter really, but I thought it was a bit of a misplay in hindsight. So here, the train's not up, so I just click Draco as I get parried again, which really sucks. I don't think the Draco would have knocked him out. I don't think. I think I need like a max roll for Draco to knock him out. But the poison would have knocked him out if Draco did not. So I could have just knocked out Zapdos there if I did not get paralyzed. So that was unfortunate, but that's how it goes sometimes. You know, I just gotta play from this point on. I can't get too caught up on that. So I'm just gonna sack this off because I can't really do anything with it. It's paralyzed. It's pretty much dead. It doesn't have any purpose. So I sack that off or bring in my Lando because I want Rocks up. The main thing that is scaring me from his team is the Staraptor, because that outspeeds everything on my team. It outspeeds my Scarf Medicham, which does not have Bullet Punch. My Mega Houndoom does have Sucker Punch, but that's not going to be doing too much, and my Scizor will be able to weaken down a fair amount, but I need Rocks up, and he could potentially, or no, he does not have debuff on this, but he could potentially spin with Blastoise, but I'd rather force him to spin and be able to damage a Blastoise than, you know, just not have Rocks up in general. So I'm going to actually bring my Lando, and it's totally... He's going to be able to knock out my Lando in 2 hits. I will be able to live the first Ember Ice thanks to my Yachi. And then I do go for Rocks, get them up thankfully. And I'm just going to have to cycle my Lando here, but Rocks are up and that is great. So it actually gets a crit, it's funny. But the double down there. So I'm going to bring my Scizor, no, Medicham. Because I figured he'd bring in Blastoise, because it's pretty safe versus all 3 of my Mons, and Medicham is the best Mon to deal with his Blastoise there. So let's bring in Medicham, because I think I go for a Drain Punch here. He goes into Garchomp. Takes a chunk from Rocks and actually get a crit, which did not matter because we know he's not Scarf because we saw Sub earlier and then for Dragon Ball. So he's not Scarf, and I get the crit, so that didn't matter though because I could have just knocked him out with 2 Drain Punches. Now he actually was not Rough Skin, which could have potentially come into play if he was Rough Skin. He's just Sandbell on. He meant to be Rough Skin. He just accidentally was Sandbell, which happens, you know. But they could have potentially come into play, but I think with the health that I get back from Drain Punch, I think I'd still be fine. So in comes Staraptor, so I'm going to switch out and bring in my Scizor here to take Rocky Helmet and to take damage from the Brave Bird here, so he'll do a lot to me, be able to 2KO me, but he'll take a lot. So at this point, I think a Bullet Punch would knock him out. Maybe it's a roll. I don't remember if the Bullet Punch knocked him out, but if it didn't very close, and he died to the Brave Bird either way, so it didn't matter. So I thought he'd predict me the Bullet Punch, actually go right into Blastoise, so I actually clicked the U-turn here predicting that, as he does just Brave Bird. So that's a little unfortunate for me. He's actually going to be able to live the Rocky Helmet and the Brave Bird, so this is a little unfortunate for me. So here, I lost the 50-50, so I bring in Houndoom. Now, I made a bit of a misplay. Now, bringing in Houndoom was the right play, but I brought this thing in immediately, and that was probably not the right play, because, or not to bring it in so quickly, because that essentially yells to him, I have Sucker Punch, and he knows this. And he's going to switch here on my Sucker Punch, which is wise on his end. But I really should have waited, because just to get in his head that I'm really not sure what my play is, that'll make him less confident in the fact that I have Sucker Punch. And I really should have just played the timer game there and just waited a bit just to get in his head to make him think that I might not have Sucker Punch. But I brought this thing immediately. I did not waste a second. I just clicked Houndoom, which, I mean, whatever. So I'll just continue. So I go for Lucky Munchie, switches into Blastoise on the smart play. And instead, I think I actually could have clicked Dark Pulse there, because even if he did stay in, he would have died. Staraptor would have died as he knocked me out with Brave Bird. So I would have had Medicham versus Blastoise, and Medicham, I think, could have 2KO'd Blastoise with a Drain Punch, or even Sand Head, but I guess I just have to hit both, and I can live any one hit. So I guess I could have just clicked Dark Pulse, because then if he switched into Blastoise with my Dark Pulse, then I'd be in a really good spot, but it doesn't really matter, I guess. Or can't get him into... sorry. I'll just let it play out to here. So, I bring in Medicham on the Surf, right? Because I cannot knock him out with my Houndoom, and I need Houndoom alive to potentially Sucker Punch. Well, no, Staraptor's going to die to Rocks, but I want... and hindsight actually that was just kind of a misplay. In hindsight, because, like, Staraptor died to Rocks. I guess I was fearing a spin. If Staraptor did spin, though... I mean, if he did spin this turn, then that would have been unfortunate. Then I would have gone to Medicham the following turn. That's what I should have done. I should have just got off the Dark Pulse damage and sack off Blastoise. Yeah. You go for the Dark Pulse, get off damage, and sack off. Houndoom would get sacked off that turn to a Surf. Then I bring in Medicham, and I could 2KO him and live any... Alright. I think I can just kill him. I don't know. But I go for Zen Headbutt as he does go for Surf, knocks me out. I'm able to bring in Houndoom and click Dark Pulse, and the roll, the calc, if he had max HP, which ended up having, it showed that I would do 33% minimum, so I go for Dark Pulse. I was a little scared, he might have had more bulk than I thought, but we do knock him out, which is great, and Straptor comes in and dies 2 rocks. So, and I'd said actually he kind of misplayed a bit towards the end. I think I should have just clicked Dark Pulse instead of Sucker Punching at 1 turn, because I'm just thinking of the end game, planning out a couple turns ahead. And then honestly, I didn't need to switch into Metagem in hindsight, because the Straptor died to rocks. No, I guess it was just fearing him spinning, and then the Straptor being back around, and I want to have my Sucker Punch with the Staraptor, which probably was just 4 attacks, and even if it wasn't, it'd be locked into a non-attack because it was Scarfed. So, you know, maybe I should have just stayed in with Houndoom, got off the damage, dropped 2 Surf. Then I could have just brought in Metagem, and I would have, I think Zen Headbutt would have just knocked him out from that point, actually, yeah. And then Straptor would come in and die to rock, so I wouldn't even have to worry about the roll on Metagem, I suppose, with the damage on Metagem there. But either way, we do win. We squeeze out a close 1-0. Yeah, I'm kind of realizing I kind of misplayed a bit towards the end, but I was still able to grasp onto this victory and keep myself in position to win. So that worked out. So we're now 7-2. John falls to 6-3. I don't think he's clinched a playoff spot yet, but he's like almost definitely still in the playoffs. Otherwise, he should be in the playoffs. I'm like 90% sure. I mean, I don't know if he is yet, but he will be, like almost definitely. I am now 7-2, so I have actually locked my playoff spot, or locked a spot in the playoffs. Not my exact seed, but I'm in the playoffs, which is hype. It's really good. It's exciting. And next week I'm playing Zamcrow. He is 8-1. Right now my differential is higher than him, actually. So either way, the winner of that game will be the 1 seed in the conference. So that'll be a big game. It'll be similar to this week. Just in my building, it'll be kind of weird. Like I'll have to try to build to win, of course, but I don't want to build too good of a team, and I want to keep a potential rematch in mind, which was kind of weird in this game. But if I do end up having a rematch versus John, I'll explain my team building thought process both times a little more thoroughly. But I will see you guys next week with the battle versus Zamcrow. That will be a big one, and peace out.